So why are so many people moving to Texas? We'll talk about that with Grant Carter. He is the president of one of the top relocation consulting companies in the country. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, Texas, as you know, is experiencing a real resurgence in terms of business because of states like California and New York that locked down during COVID, and a lot of companies just said, that's it, I'm out, and they're all moving to Texas. But when you move an entire company, it can be a Herculean effort, and if you don't have the right partner to help you move, it could be a nightmare. To talk about that today, Grant Carter, he's the president of Carter. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So people understand what it is you do. You're not the movers, but you're helping coordinate everything.
Yeah, we are true consultants, activation planning. So, a company wants to relocate. Obviously, they don't do that every day. They might do that once or twice in your career. So, since we live in it every day and we do it every day, we get hired to come and kind of assess their readiness and then hold their hand through the process. That could include hiring a mover or writing a mover, RFP for them. But a lot of it is just employee engagement, ensuring that the company is ready, and then taking them from, okay, we think you're ready, through occupancy.
So if you leave this show and you get a call from Dunkin' Donuts and they say, that's it, we're done, right, we're moving to Texas, right, what are the steps that you take them through?
Yeah, the first thing I would do would be assess the readiness. We call it a discovery phase. When you're moving an organization, certainly across state lines, there's a lot of factors that can go into that. First is, let's say you have 400 people at your organization, your headquarters, and you want to move to Dallas. Well, 50 of those folks might come with you. So you have to first figure out, okay, I'm moving 50 employees into Texas. Where do we want to go in Texas? What's our vision for once we get to Texas? We want professionals who are 35 to 45. We want them this certain type of education. So where can we find that? Is it Austin? Is it Dallas? Is it Houston? And what part of those cities? So you go through that whole process. Usually there's professionals, site consultants who can help you do that. And what we would do then is either introduce them to the right people to go through that process, or be an Uber consultant, which we've done in the past, and sort of take them through the whole process. But what I always find interesting when you're moving to a new state, you've moved those 50 people, those 350 people that are staying back are honestly more important as far as the image and the culture of your organization than the 50 that are coming with you. And I say that because those 50 are friends with those 350, maybe best friends with those 350, and how you treat them is going to, really impact the way you can hold on to the talent that's coming with you, and the way, the reputation of your organization is going to go once you move into Texas.
I can see why you guys are so successful. As we were preparing for this show, we found a great overview video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Listen, if you really want quality logistics, we're experts at that. But what sets us apart, you have to care for people. And that is our approach on a relocation.
When you take on a project like this, there's so many more pieces that have to be looked at and paid attention to than really what I ever imagined.
I believe it's really one of the big benefits we get from Carter. It's the risk avoided.
You don't know what you don't know. What would have happened had Carter not been involved? I don't want to think about it. I mean, it's a true story.
What we're doing is impacting years of work, so it really helped to have somebody to keep the puzzle together. I appreciate them.
That's why we get up and do this job, is to improve people's lives. And in healthcare, it's just a given.
I didn't want any of our patients or families to experience any less level of care. And really, Carter was the one that helped maintain that.
The entire experience is going to be appropriately predictable and risk averse.
You know, we're not in the business of building buildings. And so to have someone looking over our shoulders, making sure we're communicating to each other was invaluable. You can't put a price on that.
When you make the decision to pull the trigger as a healthcare organization to bring something new, you've got to get it right. I've seen it, I've been on that side of it, and I've seen where the gaps are. This is my dream job.
I think Carter has given me kind of a peace of mind. Project management is a skill all in its own. The attention to detail, the communication that we have with them, it's been incredible.
We just want to solidify your vision. It's not about what we want. We're here to augment your team.
There were evenings that I would be so exhausted. Someone from Carter would come by and literally they would walk with me out to my car. It would be late at night and would carry my things. I don't even know how many times that happened.
Carter learned all of our employees' names, what their organization did, what their responsibilities were.
If you properly prepare your people, they will show up ready to work. If they're not prepared, it's going to cost you real money before they're finally ramped up.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime undertaking.
Largest corporate move in America. On the date that it was set a year prior, we moved on those dates.
And 7,200 people, I did not have a single complaint. I mean, it was a grand slam. It was a celebration.
When you're in a move, it's the perfect time to re-examine your culture, and your culture is going to be affected no matter what happens. You have to do that right. And if you don't, all that work you did designing the building is for nothing if your people don't feel like they were engaged. And that's what we're there to do for our clients.
Wow, that was impressive. And in fact, that young lady looked like she was going to tear up. You take it personally, don't you?
Well, yeah, and I'm glad that that's part of the video. I tell a lot of folks this job can somewhat be thankless because, frankly, our goal is to always get inside your organization, get ingrained, and become part of it. So there are times where I'll work on a 2-3 year project and people will just assume I work for the company. But what I love about that is that it shows just kind of I don't like saying the extra mile because every organization says that, but yeah, the detail and the care we have for moving our organization. What's so great about the people that work at Carter is they've always had an ownership of the project that they're on. They carry that flag for us better than anybody. And you get reactions like that because, yeah, we truly do care how you feel when you're relocating. And when you're relocating in such a massive organization like American Airlines, you can feel maybe lost, or I don't feel like I was engaged, or they didn't, take the time to listen to me. And that's honestly another reason why we are hired by, leaders, is because we are going to go and talk to your employees. We are going to engage with your employees. And it actually, it reflects well on the leadership that they took the time to bring in someone who moves organizations every day and, let their employees interact with us and figure out, okay, this is what my main issue is. This is what's keeping me up at night about this relocation. And they're going to go there and take care of it for us, which is.
And you work with some huge companies. Let's go ahead and pull up the graphic. Yeah, look at those. I mean, those are household names, and I'm sure there's another 50 you could rattle off if you wanted to. But I want to point out that even though you're working with these still very much a family company.
Yeah, certainly. My father started the business over 30 years ago. I've been with the organization now for 11 years. And we've always been a small organization. We're not a team of 150 consultants in an office somewhere, but we're able to work multiple projects, being that agile all over the country. And it's what I think that's the best thing about our culture is how we really give that autonomy to our employees, and they know that, and they love it. That we give them that freedom, and we do, like I said before, want them to own the projects that they're running. And that's why people stay with us, and that's why we have the talent that we have.
Well, and I love the white glove treatment that you give people, because if you think about it, your consumer is under a lot of pressure. There are times in your life when you're under stress. Weddings, funerals, moves. I mean, these are big life events, and so you really have to give them the VIP treatment, don't you?
Yeah, I tell a lot of prospective clients that relocation is one of the seminal events of any organization, and that's academically proven. Leadership changes, relocations, these are going to be stressful for everybody in the organization. So it's important when you are moving that in order to maintain that culture, or maybe look at that culture in a different light and try to improve it, there is no better time than when everyone needs to stop what they're doing for a second and move. And we, having done this for so long in so many industries, we know the risks that are involved. We know which bullets you're going to have to dodge. And we're brought in there to ensure that, the things that we've seen in the past don't happen to you, and you can get through it, and people are happy about it.
I want to talk about one of the projects you're really proud of, and it's Stryker. Let's go ahead and put that up on the screen. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Stryker was a great project. What was so unique about Stryker for me was there was the employee aspect of it. They also had 2 warehouses, and they had 6 production lines. They're making equipment for medical rooms, surgery rooms. It was a really impressive facility, and you could tell. It's funny, on most relocations, certainly in the corporate industry, we care about our people. We want our people to be engaged, be happy about this, have a positive, lasting impact on them. But when you're also dealing with production lines, where the money is. That's where the money is. So they were worried. We've never picked up our production lines and had to bring them to another facility. How do we do that without stopping production?
Wow.
So that we get in there, we build our team with them, internal and external if necessary, and we take it step by step. What does this thing do? How long can it be off? How long does it need to be on? Let's turn it off. Let's get it over. Turn it back. I don't need to go into all, but there's a lot of lists involved, and that was a very unique project in that sense. And also, just as a side note, a wonderful culture who cared deeply about their employees and how they felt. And it was one of those projects you looked forward to going to.
Well, I can see you guys are partners, and you help your clients through all kinds of difficult times. I can't think of a more difficult time in our lifetime than COVID.
Yeah.
So those clients that you were working with, I'm thinking about last March, did everything come to a screeching halt? What did you guys do?
Yeah. I think kind of like with everybody, no matter your industry, there was that stop. And what's kind of unique about us is, yes, we do a lot of corporate work, but we are deeply involved in healthcare. We're deeply involved in life science. We have large hospital systems that we help relocate. So I think navigating those waters and the safety aspects of everything changed for us. And as everybody else knows, we all had to sit in front of computers and get on Zooms and try to relocate an organization virtually, which it's difficult. We love being involved. We like being engaged. We like being, really inside the organization every day. We have an office at every one of our clients' facilities because we feel like we're part of the organization. So yeah, it was difficult to navigate that. I think just like everyone else, we learned, kind of some positives and negatives about culture and how we can improve what we do, be a little more agile. But, like everyone else, we are grateful that things are starting to open up and we can get back together. Well, we met through a wonderful organization called Why Texas. So let's go ahead and put that on the screen and give a shout out to Ed Curtis. You've been with them for about a month. What convinced you to join? Yeah, I think more than anything for me, I had a wonderful conversation with Ed. He really felt and wanted to understand what Carter did. Granted, we work in relocation, so anytime we can highlight the positives of Texas, we want to help you do that. And we want to be there for any organization to, maybe if you're thinking about coming here, okay, what are the steps I need to go through? Well, you can ask us. But why Texas? It's diverse. There's a lot of industries involved. It's more than you would imagine. But you get to meet some great people, and everyone kind of has that same goal in mind, which is let's highlight what's wonderful about our state here.
Yeah, when I'm trying to explain why Texas is, I say, okay, when Elon Musk is thinking about moving to Texas, he calls Ed. Right. Ed says, you're overselling me just a little. I don't have Elon on my speed dial. But hey, listen, thank you for coming on the show. We're going to end by putting up your website. Yeah. It's carterinc.com is the website. Grant Carter, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.